But the presence of God never fades. The presence of God does not increase in value. It only increases the person who is in that presence. You see, so there is a big difference between the wealth of his presence and then these physical manifestations. This will depreciate no matter how careful you take care of it, you manage it. Eventually the law of wear and tear will come in. But the presence of God renews, the presence of God accelerates, the presence of God elevates, the presence of God brings speed. So this is why we advocate that beyond these physical things, cars, houses, that the greatest wealth of the believer is the presence of God. I'll wrap up my contribution to what you are saying by just bringing a scripture that comes to mind. It says, let not the wise man glory in his wisdom, let not the strong man in his strength, let not the rich man in his riches, but let him that glorieth glory in this, that he knoweth and understandeth me. Yes.
Hey everybody, so as you all just saw an extra cut from Apostle Joshua Selman, where he talks about what the presence of God can do. And I just want to share a little bit on what he was talking about and just expound on it in my own words from what I understand about the presence of God. So I believe that the most profound transformation a believer can experience is the presence of God. And this truth is undeniable. When I think about this, what comes to my mind is Psalm 16:11, which says, you will show me the path. It says, you will show me the life path. In your presence is fullness of joy, and pleasures forevermore at your right hand. So which tells me that being in the presence of God will show you how to live this life as a believer. But not only that, being in the presence of God will show you how to live right. So you see, the presence of God brings joy and pleasure to the life. When you're in the presence of God, you can't fail because the presence of God never fails. So there is life in the presence of God, and God's presence changes you. As Apostle Joshua Selman said in the clip, being in God's presence increase an individual's value. That's very important. Being in the presence of God increase your value. Not only that, but I genuinely believe in the presence of God changes an individual who lingers in his presence daily. So we have to make it a practice of being in the presence of God on a daily basis. 1 Corinthians 15 verses 51 to 52 says, behold, I will show you a mystery. We shall not all escape, but we shall all be changed. Now, verse 52 says, in a moment, in a twinkling of an eye, at the last trumpet. So let's examine the word moment. Now, the word moment in the Greek is the word atomos. And those of you who are Bible students, is Strong's number 1823. So, and the definition is invisible, moment, instant. It is described as properly not being able to cut divide because it is too small to be measured, like a split second, like an instant, an individual moment of time, too short to measure. So God present can change you instantaneously. This is not a distant promise, but a present reality that you can experience right now. And this is something that you can experience right now by being in the presence of God. And get this. So here's what I believe. When you enter his presence, you come in one way, but in a moment, atomos, you shall be changed like that. In a moment, you take a quantum leap. We're going somewhere. So I'm here to tell you that you are about to take a quantum jump. Now here's the meaning of a quantum jump. The meaning of quantum jump is the sudden transition of an atom internal state where it emits or absorbs a quantum light of energy. So you can defy time, you can defy logic, you can defy reasoning and matter. When you stay in the presence of God, you can defy the natural elements, you can define the natural elements of this world. In the video clip by Apostle Selman, he stated 4 things that happens when you're in the presence of God. 1, it renews. 2, it accelerates. 3, it elevates. And 4, it induces speed. So let's look at Matthew 14:23. And when he had sent the multitudes away, he went up into the mountain apart to pray. And when the evening came, he was there alone. He was there alone. Matthew 14:25 and 27. And in the 4th watch of the night, Jesus went up unto them walking on the sea. And when the disciples saw him walking on the sea, they were troubled, saying, Is it a spirit? And they cried out for fear. But straightway Jesus spake unto them, saying, Be of good cheer. It is I, and be not afraid. Jesus walking on water defies gravity and all the natural law that says no man can walk on water. But before he walked on water, get this, before he walked on water, he was in the presence of God. He was able to defy the storm and walk and water. He elevated himself above his problems, all natural circumstances. Just like Jesus, you will be elevated above the raging storms in your life. The thing you feel, the thing you feel you cannot conquer, but you must stay in the presence of God. That's where you get boldness. That's where you get faith, which will cause you to quantum jump. Let's look at someone else who took a quantum leap and defined a natural element because he was a man who stayed in God's presence. 1 Kings 18:46. And the hand of the Lord was on Elijah, and he grabbed up his loins and ran before Ahab to the entrance of Jezreel. Elijah outran Ahab's chariot. And man, talk about speed. A few verses earlier states that Elijah went up to Mount Carmel to pray. So here again, you see a man in the presence of God, and God gave him supernatural speed. He took a quantum jump. Now, according to one translation of the Bible, Elijah outrun Ahab's chariot by 20 miles. As you can see from these 2 examples in the Bible, being in God's presence should be every believer's number 1 priority. It has great recompense. Remember, the presence of God never fails. This is a constant and rock solid assurance that you can hold on to in the midst of life's uncertainty. Stay in the presence of God. I guarantee you it will be worthwhile. Somebody is about to receive a nanosecond blessing. It can happen right now, not tomorrow. In a nanosecond, God can change your life only if you believe. And I want to admonish you to stay in the presence of God. In the presence of God, you can be changed. In the presence of God, you can take items. You can be instantly changed in a nanosecond. And I decree over you that your life is going to a new level. You are about to take a quantum jump as you spend time in the presence of God. So I just want to thank you, those of you out there, for looking at my YouTube channel. I want you to like, subscribe to my YouTube channel, and also leave a comment and let me know how if this has blessed you in one way or another. And also, I'm giving away a copy of my first ebook, Faith Man, from request to reality, to my first 50 subscribers. So if you subscribe to my YouTube channel, I will send you a free copy of my first book, Faith Man, from request to reality. God bless you, and see you next time.